Copying and moving Excel content is a frequent task when editing worksheets. The basic steps to move or copy are to select the cells, rows, or columns that you want to move or copy. Next, you would choose Cut to Move or Copy to Duplicate, and then move to the new location, which could be on another worksheet, or it could be in a worksheet in another workbook. And then you pick the paste command. But let's dig into those options in more detail. First, we would select our data. And once that's selected, we can find our cut and copy options in a number of different places. First, we look in the Home tab, and here we have Cut, Copy, and then our paste options, which become available once we select that first action. Or we could press keyboard shortcuts, Control X for cut, Control C for copy, and Control V for paste. Another approach would be to right-click, and here we have cut or copy as well as other paste options. Additionally, we could drag and drop, which we'll explore, or we can even autofill when we want to copy to contiguous cells. Once we have something selected, let's say the next step is to copy. I'll press Control C for copy. Now I'll move over to the destination. And to keep this simple, I'll simply move into the same worksheet. Notice in the status bar that we see the message, select destination and press Enter or choose Paste. When it's a copy command, you do have some options here. If it's a one-time copy, all you need to do is press Enter. You don't need to do a paste. Let's undo that for a moment. First, we move to where we want to see this copy. And one of the mistakes I see often is the attempt to highlight a matching range. And that's not necessary, and it can cause you troubles or error messages. Simply move to the upper left-hand corner of that location. As we saw, we could press Enter to simply put in one copy. If we actually wanted multiple copies, this is where the paste could come in. So Control V for paste, but now this content is still sitting in memory and waiting for us if we in fact wanted to paste it in other locations. I'll finish this up by hitting Enter. Now I have two copies. One of the things to notice here too is that all of the formatting came along with the content. And if it included formulas, that would be part of it as well. Sometimes that's not exactly what we're looking for. Consider, for instance, if we had these totals and we wanted to actually bring them into another worksheet. Well, doing so, these totals actually have a formula behind them. And we might want that, or we might just simply want the raw results. For this, we'll highlight, once again, a copy. I'll move to the new location, and instead of simply hitting Enter or Paste, let's look at the number of options that are available. We'll right-click to come into the shortcut menu, and notice here that we could paste it in, and here's one of the challenges. It has a formula, and it's just going to be calculating the range that appears to the left-hand side, and that isn't giving us any results. Or we could paste the values. We could paste the formulas. You could even do a transpose, which can help you when you have data from another source. Perhaps we want to just paste the formatting, or if the source is coming from a different location, we could paste a link to it. For this, I'll paste values. This is a great way to transfer information. And come back to it, right-click, and paste the formatting. Consider how you might just take portions of that paste command to give you exactly what you're looking for. Because this is a copy action with a variety of paste actions, we still have the dancing ants or marquee for the selection. To clear that, I'll hit Escape. If, for instance, it's a cut action, you only have one time for it to cut or move that content. Another way to copy to contiguous or touching cells, whether it's data entry, text, values, or even formulas, is using a technique called AutoFill. We'll look at it really quickly here, and then I'll explore it in more detail in another video. Look for that link in the description below. With AutoFill, we simply move to the selection, whether it's one cell or multiple cells, and then move to the bottom right-hand corner of that selection. There will be a square, black or green square, and when your mouse hovers over that, you'll see a black cross. Now we can move vertically or horizontally to duplicate or copy that content. In this case, I'll simply fill down. And so now I have a duplication or copy of that content very quickly through the use of AutoFill. This is great for headings, for numbers, values, and formulas. Another way to copy or to move is with drag and drop. Here again, we select the cells that we want to work with and we'll move to the edge. So not to the corner like with AutoFill, but any of the edges there, and look for the four-headed arrow. Drag and drop works best when it's a fairly short distance that you want to move or copy. For this to move, I'll press and hold and drag, and when I release the mouse, I have actually repositioned those selected cells. To make a copy of it, we once again move to that edge, to the little thicker outside border, and for this, I'll hold down Control. Now my mouse pointer changes, so it's my arrow with a plus. I'm holding down Control, press and hold and drag, and now I have a copy. Although we can do this across workbooks, especially if we have multiple windows open, you'll probably find it easiest when it's a fairly short distance. You're simply trying to make adjustments to the content in your worksheet. Which of these cut and copy actions makes sense when you're editing your worksheets? To learn more ways to be productive with Microsoft Excel or to join my free tips newsletter, visit thesoftwarepro.com/Excel. If this training was helpful, please subscribe to this channel for other time-saving software tips. Thanks for watching.